Tonight I'm going to teach you a clandestine skill to blend into any environment. It's taught to SF operators, intelligence officers and anyone that's worked in the surveillance community all around the world. It's called going grey. Hollywood loves a secret agent flick, and they are off the mark quite a bit with a lot of their stuff. Although the wardrobe departments are pretty spot on, you've got to give them a bit of credit. So what is going grey, or being a grey man? Basically, it's adopting a certain area's normal clothing patterns and their behavioural traits in order to look like an insider even when you're an outsider. So that's the goal. So how do you become this cultural chameleon? Is it by dressing in all grey? No, of course not, that'd look real silly. What grey actually represents, it's a metaphor, is dull, boring, often overlooked. So what you have to do, mate, is look dull, boring and often overlooked. Not that hard, is it? No, but seriously, we don't want to draw attention to ourselves, so we choose things that are not going to do that. So as a base, you mix a combination of bland colours like dark brown, dark blue, dark green, grey obviously, and black. Anything that doesn't really stand out in a crowd. The goal is to pass by unnoticed at a glance. All right, mate. So don't wear anything that's flamboyant or bright or has big logos or slogans on it. Also, you don't want to be revealing any of your body, so that may draw attention from the other sex. Like no guns out for blokes and no out for women. Also, don't wear anything that's affiliated to a local sports team, even if you think that everyone's going to be wearing it there, or any sports team, or affiliated to anything, any group of people at all, because you might get it wrong. Unless you're actually at a sports game and everyone's wearing the same jersey, then obviously that's a good way to blend in. This also extends to mannerisms and behavioural traits in an area too. When I worked as a surveillance officer, it was crucial to blend into environments for long periods of time and obviously spy on, watch your target. If we couldn't do that, then we were compromised and the whole operation has failed. It's very important. But why might you need to do it? You could be on vacation anywhere in the world and you don't want to be targeted by pickpockets and petty thieves who do target tourists, obviously. You could be working away with sensitive company information on you or products that you don't want to get stolen. Or you might be traveling and you want to get that real local level experience without any hassle. You know you're getting it right when the street vendors leave you alone. It's common knowledge that criminals target tourists or outsiders, and on a small scale that could mean you losing a bit of camera equipment or your wallet. But on a bigger scale, that could mean you on the news kneeling before a video camera and someone's blade at your neck. You know what I mean? You do need info on local clothing trends. Basically, you need a baseline from which to work. When we'd start a surveillance task, we'd have a soaking up period at the beginning where we'd literally sit outside out of a cafe or a bar in a busy shopping district or anywhere really where you can people watch and soak in everything that's going on in the environment. You're looking at what people are wearing, the way they dress, but also their mannerisms, how they behave, how they walk. Are they greeting each other? If so, then how are they greeting each other? Are they walking in a fast pace? Are they walking with their head down? Are they looking up? Like all these patterns you recognise and you try to imitate. And to be honest, in some tasks, especially in close protection, I didn't have the luxury of having a soaking up period to establish the baseline. So if you can't, then you can look on YouTube or any social media and follow and watch videos, vlogs of any micro influencers walking on the streets that you're going to go to, and just look behind them at what people are wearing, how they're walking, how they're behaving, all the patterns, and just see through them. But just make sure they're not a massive famous influencer because they have a different experience on the street, and also that the videos are relatively recent, not like 20 years ago, and you're completely out of the fashion trends. The big problem is, the same as all the lads have in Afghan and Iraq, wherever they're working, it's the fact that you can never change your ethnicity. I had this when I moved down to Central America for a year. You can try as hard as you like, but you're not going to fully blend in as a gringo outsider. So what did I do? I played a character. Essentially, I lived a cover story whilst I was there. There were thousands of gringo white people living in the area I was in, but they weren't native there, they weren't born there. However, they had been there for many years. So I was one of them, and I was in a beach town, a surf town. There's a lot of surfers, so I played this beach surf bum role to a T. The bonus of that is that you're already kind of seen as a scrounger, poorish beach bum, living in a hostel, just trying to get by so you can ride the waves. That's the stereotype, and I was riding that stereotype. So last night I went out and did some recce's just to get a feel for the area. I do this when I'm working as a bodyguard, close protection. I wasn't actually wearing this t-shirt, I was wearing a vest, and it was a grey one in true grey man fashion, but that's just coincidence. It would just not have to be grey all the time. Anyway, so when I go out and do these recce's, I try to go as low profile as I can. I'll show you what kit I was carrying yesterday. When I'm working CP, it'll be a bit different. So yeah, so it's board shorts. I'm going as a surfer. I'm not wearing a expensive watch, obviously, and I have one pocket in these board shorts, and I have in my pocket I have a burner phone. If I do get robbed, then I'll give this phone over, and it does work, but it's not got everything important to me on it. Also, I have a bit of cash right there in the pocket to hand over if I'm held at knife point or gun point or whatever, local currency and dollars. But that's not where the goods are stored. Under there is the important bit, one of these money belts. I really rate these. I can't travel without them. As you can see, I've got my knife there too, so I'll have my actual phone in there. Last night I did, and I also will have my cash and any bank cards. There's no need for me to take out any more than that anyway, so I kept that stored at home. Also, another bit of kit that I have tucked away, which is a bit extreme, some of you might think, but it's a bit of a seer, escape and evasion. Resistance to interrogation sort of training comes in there. If you know what that bit of kit is, then you know your stuff. I also carry that, and I just keep a low profile and just test a bit of the local people and just get a feel for the ground. I wouldn't recommend everyone doing it, but I thought I'd give you a bit of an insight to what I do. I played that cover story the whole time I was there, and I really enjoyed it, wearing all this worn out surfing clothing, and I blended in well enough, did good enough to get passed over by the street vendors. If you're going to do this yourself, then one big tip is take off that watch. You're on vacation, you don't need it anyway, but it is a massive tell for obviously ex-military blokes, but any Westerner in general, to be honest, and try get a suntan on that little strap area too. I actually live in a rock climbing town, and there's a load of van lifers that live here. It's a bit like lefty kind of on that side, so that's the reason why I actually have long hair and I blend in a bit. I was working a security job, that's why I moved here, and it's a bit controversial. I can't really say much more about it, I don't work there anymore, but it's good to stay under the radar sometimes and just blend in. Here's me playing the character of a homeless drug addict in downtown Vancouver recently in another video, so I didn't get hassled when I was filming. You can watch that video here. The bad guys use it. They profile us when they're trying to decide whether they should attack us, rob us. Do we look like we're going to fight back? Do we actually have value to us? If they're trying to rob our valuables, do we look wealthy? Or if they're trying to rape us, do we look rape-worthy? I don't know. Forget that one. The Grayson Steen study found that criminals take on average 7 seconds to decide whether you are their victim, their ideal victim type. Profiling. If you're interested in profiling, I've got another video on it here. So that's a whole 7 seconds of them looking at you and contemplating whether they should attack you, whether it's worth it, the risk versus reward, whether you're going to put up a fight, whether they can get what they want from you. Blending in is a good tool to have in the bag should you ever need to use it, but you can also use the flip side of that coin too and portray a harder, more don't really want to be messed with front. For instance, in Canada and United States, you can dress like a military bro, like a worn, weathered baseball cap, like a black rifle kind of shirt with a flag on the sleeve, a big black watch. You know, to any of those prying eyes looking in, what you project is that you're not to be messed with. And that's it, being a grey man. You can take it or leave it. Maybe you don't need to use that very often. Maybe you'll get a job one day in a new city and you want to blend in. Maybe you're carrying sensitive information. Who knows? It's one to have in the tool bag. That's it for this video. Give me a subscribe, like and comment any questions you have. YouTube is already not liking my content and not letting many people see it because of the nature of what I talk about. So help me out. See you on the next one. Bloody rats everywhere around here.